Okay, come here. Bait, bait. Fetch. Good. Sit. Sit. Good. Sit. Ready? Sit. Fetch. Sit. 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 Ready. Fetch. Okay. Sit. Sit. Good. Out. Sit. Sit. Fetch. Sit. Sit. Here. Kennel. Sit. Okay. So what I want to talk about today is the idea of having your dog react to what you do as opposed to you reacting to what the dog is doing. Most people, if they would drive up to a place, they'd open the door and the dog would run out and they'd have to say, hey, get over here. So what I would like to have happen is to have the dog stare at me and say, hey, what's next? Now, if you just go back and what you just saw, I came in, I stopped, I looked at the dog, he's looking at me, I said, come on, we did something, and he was always looking at me to see what I wanted him to do. So the message is, don't react to what your dog does. Make him react to what you do or what you tell him to do. So this becomes a habit. You put the food down, the dog's sitting there, and when the dog looks at you, okay, then he can go get his food. It's not like you put the food down and he jumps on it and starts eating. The dog has to look at you in order to get what he wants. Now, that sounds pretty simple, and it is pretty simple, but if you can get it to be a habit, where every time the dog wants something, he looks at you to see if he can get it. And some people are in such total reaction to what the dog is doing, it teaches the dog, hey, I can do anything I want. If he wants me, he'll call. And I think that's a bad way to live. So I'm going to go through what I just did. I'll see if I can sort of duplicate it, and then you'll get an idea what I'm talking about. So dog is sitting there, and already, just now that you can see he's staring at me, and I'm going to say, okay, come here. Sit. Sit. See, he's looking at me, not at the bumper. He's looking at me. What should I do? Fetch. Okay. Good. Sit. Sit. Watch me. Okay. Pretty good. All right, sit. Get in. Okay, so at first, maybe you'll drop a bumper like that, and a dog will just stare at it. And eventually, he'll look back at you and say, what's going on? Fetch. So you start to develop the habit of a dog looking at you to get what he wants. Same thing with a food dish, same thing with going through a door. People open a door in their house and the dog comes blasting out, and anybody out there could be in danger. So the thing to do is to open the door and say sit, and dog is staring, getting ready to go out the door, and you stand there. When he looks at you, then you say, okay. So it's sort of an imperceptible variation from what you do, but it's a big variation on what the dog does. He doesn't do anything unless he gets it from you. And once a dog realizes that, all these other training things just become a snap, because now you're engaged with the dog. You're not trying to get his attention. You have taught him that unless he engages with you, he doesn't get anything. So I hope I'm making that clear. Anyway, I've talked about these things before, but it's dawned on me that it's really important. So all of your things, especially around the house, around the kennel, around the truck, out airing, get in a position where the dog doesn't just go running off and do what he wants, where he looks at you and say, what do you want me to do? Then you'll be on the right track. The other thing I want to mention is that when I first started doing these clips about 10 years ago, I wasn't that interested in getting a lot of comments, but now I am. I want comments because I've decided that it really helps me get ideas on what people are interested in and what they want to learn about and what they want to see me do. So leave comments. And if you're watching this on YouTube or something like that and you're not getting an email notification, make sure you get to my website, billhillmann.net, and just put your email in there, and then you'll get a little notification. So get into a position where your dog looks at you and says, I want something, and I know the only place I'm going to get it is from you. It's not where he's sitting there and bouncing and saying, I want this, I want this, I want this. He looks at me and I can say, yeah, you can have it because you're doing what I want, which is focusing on me. I have to be the reward and the way to get what the dog wants. If you work on that, you're going to have a whole different relationship with your dog, and teaching him things is going to be a snap. Let's say you're in a classroom and all the kids are on their cell phones and the teacher's up there trying to teach them something. What are you going to teach them? Nothing, because they're not even paying attention. As opposed to if you were trying to teach them something and every kid was riveted to you, staring at you saying, what do you want? What are we going to learn? So that's what I'm saying. You must have the dog focusing on you, because then you can teach them something. It's just like the teacher and the student. If the kids are talking and shooting spitballs and looking at their phones, they can't learn anything. Dog can't learn anything either if he's wandering around and not paying attention to you. So, all right, so that's a message. Remember to leave comments. Also, hang on for the next message that's coming.